In today's class, we shall be looking at quadratic equation. When it comes to quadratic equation, it is either presented in this manner: x squared plus bx plus c, which is the constant, or we say ax squared plus bx plus c. Let me quickly explain here that this and this are basically referring to the same expressions. How do I mean about that? We have basically two angular view of quadratic equation. This a that you have here, it is assumed that it is equal to 1. So if it is 1 times x raised to power 2 is also the same as this. True or false? True. Now, every other thing remains constant. But let me explain, because if you want to enjoy mathematics, you need to understand the basis. Once you understand the basis, you are just going to be jollophing everything. Mathematics works with some basic assumptions. What are those assumptions? We are going to talk about it in this class. So if you have x squared plus bx plus c, you need to understand what each of these expression represents. X squared here is referring to a, because x squared here is referring to the coefficient of a. Now, this b that we have here, bx here, b here is representing b as in letter b. Then c here is constant. A is the coefficient of x squared, b is the coefficient of what? Of x. And c remains constant. Constant simply means anything that does not change, that is not a variable. All the x we have here, x, the value of x are variable. Variable means things that change. Anything that changes is called variable, that is, they vary. And that's why usually they will explain to you that x raised to power 2 plus bx plus c is also the same as a as the coefficient of x squared plus b as the coefficient of x plus a constant term. Now, the basic assumption that will help you to understand quadratic equation, especially if you are preparing for WAEC, you are preparing for JAM, you want to have a very solid foundation. A is not equals to 0, because if a is equals to 0, then it has it has faulted that assumption. Then another assumption is that a is equal to 1. The meaning of a equals to 1 means if a is written here or not, but so far a is equals to 1, that means even when you have a value for a here as equals to 1, which is what you have here, it will still end up as this same expression. For this quadratic expression to take hold, and a is equals to 1, for this to be the same as this, which is a trinomial, then the next thing we should understand is that whenever we are solving quadratic equation, we are looking at the values of the constant, that the values that ensures that the factors of this constant term, when added together, will give us the middle term, the coefficient of x. So if that is what it is, then we should now try to solve a simple quadratic expression. So in this part, we shall be looking at a simple quadratic equation to start with, to explain to us how to easily factorize, calculate this equation. So let's assume we have, for example, x squared plus 4x then plus 3. and they say you should solve this. Let's assume you walk into an exam hall, WAEC or JAM, and you have this that factorize and like solve. Based on the introductory aspect to this equation, here it is assumed that there is an invisible a here, which is equals to what? 1. So you have your a, then this 4 is your what? Is your b. The coefficient of x squared here is 1. The coefficient of x here is 4, which is your b. Then the c is your constant. Have that in mind. Once you have this in mind, then you know that the rest is easy. So what they are simply trying to say is, what figure are you going to multiply? What two figures are you going to multiply that will give you a constant value of 3? And when you add those figures together, they are going to give you 4x. X here is the variable that we are looking at. What are the factors of 3 that you know? So factors of 3 plus 1 times plus 3, isn't it? Plus 1 times plus 3. For those of you that are not used to plus, whenever a figure is written as just 1, it means it's positive. So that's 1 times 3. It will give you 3, isn't it? Okay. Now, another option that will give you 3 is where you have minus 1 times minus 3. Minus 1 times minus 3 will still give you what? 3. Why? When you are multiplying negative value, negative multiplied by negative will give you positive. So that's why it's plus 3. Positive times positive, that's plus 3. That's why this is plus 3. But let's look at this. We are saying, what factors of 3 are we going to add together that will give us the value of 4x? So what do? Let's start from this below. Minus 1 times minus 3 will give us plus 3. But if you add these two together, minus plus minus will give us what? Minus. Simply put, you are owing somebody 1 naira, and you now went to borrow additional 1 naira. That's what? Minus 4. It will not give us plus 4. So in this case, the factors of 3 that will give us plus 4x is what? Plus 1 and plus 3. If you've gotten that well, that means what I'll just do, I'll first of all write solution now. I'll first of all write x squared plus, is it plus 1 we want to write first, or plus 3? I can say, okay, x squared. So what are we going to add together here to give us this? I can ask, okay, plus 1. If I say 1x now, does it make sense? 1x is the same thing as x, then plus 3x. 1x plus 3x is what? 4x. That's this. Then bring the constant. That's why it's called constant. It remains there. So what this is simply saying is that instead of me writing that value that I will add together that will give me these two values, two figures that I will add together that will give me 4x, and when I multiply them together it will give me plus 3. That's what we need to find out. That's how we got the factors of these 3. So you have x squared plus 1x plus 3x plus 3. Plus 1 plus 3x will give us this. So you have only expanded. It's still the same as this, but that's not where you are going to. Where we are now going to is to now say, okay, since we've gotten the right expansion, what are the coefficients of this and this that we need to get? So what I will just do is, okay, I'll mark them into brackets. I have x squared plus 1x in brackets. This plus is here, just like we have here. just like we have here, is here. We have 3x plus 3. So I've divided them into two brackets now. So what is the coefficient of this first bracket plus the coefficient of this second bracket? X is here, x is here. Remember I told you that normally I'm not supposed to write 1x because 1x is the same thing as x. Now, because the coefficient of this x is not equals to 0, so if it's not equals to 0, it must be equal to 1. Now, I have x here. Let me bring out one of the x outside here, outside the bracket. So if I have taken 1x out of x squared, how many x will be remaining? It's remaining 1x. Plus, now I have 1x. If I have taken 1x out of this, what will be remaining? 1. That's brackets. What sign is here? This is plus. What's the coefficient of the figures we have in this bracket? 3 is here, 3 is here. X is here, x is not here. So it's 3 that is the coefficient. I will now say plus 3. Open the bracket. If I take 3 from 3x, what will happen? I will have just 1x here. Plus is here. I'll put plus. 3 in 3 is what? 1. So you can see that we are on the right track. Because whenever you are solving this equation, what you will have in your bracket must be all and same. So you have x plus 1 here, x plus 1 here. Good. That's how to check if your work is right. So what you just do, you pick one of these brackets, which is x plus 1, which is the same thing as this. Then these coefficients here, you put them in bracket as well. So what are we now going to have? We have x plus 3 into brackets. Then this x plus 1 that we have on both sides, just pick one. You have what again? What do we have? You have x plus 1. Simply put, if at all you now want to expand this bracket, if at all you want to expand this bracket, it will take you back to this to this equation here. So therefore, x squared plus 4x plus 3 is equal to what? X plus 3 in brackets x plus 1. This is your final answer. Always note that in mathematics, it's not just about giving final answer. It's about the steps. Each of the steps that you analyze down gives you mark, especially in theory problems. Now, it is always advisable that you check to see whether what you have gotten as the answer is correct. So let us check. So let's check. Let's check if actually this will give us this. How do you check? You've just written x plus 3 in brackets x plus 1. What this is simply saying is, by the time you expand, you are going to get this. Let's try it out. Now, if you are using this to multiply this, how do you go about it? That means x will multiply this. X multiply x plus 1, isn't it? Then plus 3 multiply x plus 1. So let's open the brackets. X times x will give us x squared. X times 1 will give us plus 1x. I'm not supposed to write that 1x. I'm just using this to help those that are new or growing in mathematics. x1, 1x is the same thing as x. So plus 3 times x, what do you have? 3x. Then plus 3 times plus 1. That will give you what? Plus 3. Now, look at it. Where did we end up as? X squared, isn't it, remains our first value here. 1x plus 3x, what will that give us? 4x. Then plus the constant. Is that not the same as what we have here? So that's how you check if you are correct. X squared plus 4x plus 3. Mathematics is the most interesting course on planet Earth because it is easier, far easier than English, than any subject in the whole world. It's just about you to understand what is the basis, the origin of this. Let's recap in this class before I take another question to solve for us. When you see x squared, just know that there is an imaginary coefficient here, which is 1. When you see 4x here, this 4x is referring to the second coefficient, which is 4. Then the constant term means they don't change. And please take note that x here and x here, they are called variables. X here and x here represent variables. Variables simply means things that vary, things that changes. You understand? You know, some of your classmates, they change. They will say, if some of your classmates that are always good at lying, they are like variables, they are not constant. If they say good morning, you need to go and check. So those are variables. But this last figure that is always coming up here is referred to as constant. Good morning is constant because morning is morning, afternoon is afternoon, night is night. So with that, let's go. Let me clean up so that we'll go to the next equation to solve for us. Thank you. If you have any question, drop it on the comment section. I'll look at it and we'll probably try to solve it for you with respect to this. So remember to give us thumbs up and like and share this video to your classmates. If I see more engagement, I will continue to do this video so that's to help you guys. So in question 2, we have m squared plus 11m plus 18. This is just similar to the first equation that we just saw. So these are very simple quadratic equation. So I won't be wasting much time here because I've already shown you the nitty-gritty of how this is done. So the first thing that you look at is, okay, m squared is there, good. But what are the factors of 18? What are the factors of 18 that when I multiply them, it will give me 18, and when I add it up, it will give me plus 11. Now, the factors of 18. 2 times 9, what will it give me? 18. Minus 2 times minus 9 will also give me plus 18. But minus 2, if I add minus 2 to minus 9, will it give me plus 11? No. It will give me minus 11. So this is out. But if I say plus 2 times plus 9, which is often called 2 and 9. 2 times 9 will give me 18. And if I add 2 plus 9, what will it give me? 11. So this one is a very simple stuff. I'm not going to waste time here. M squared plus, what will I put here now? 9m plus 2m, isn't it? Then 9m plus 2m, that's 11m. Then I have my plus 18. So once I have that, what's the next thing to do? put them in bracket, m squared plus 9m, then this bracket plus that is here, bracket 2m plus 18. So what's the next thing to do? Take away the what? The coefficient of what's it called? M. So I have m here, m in m squared, to leave me with 1m, plus m in 9m, that will give me 9. Plus, what is common to 2m and 18 is 2. So I have plus 2 in bracket, what will be left? 2 in 2m, that's m. 2 in 18, that's 9. So, you can see, what you have in both brackets are already similar, they are already same. So that's telling you that you are in the right part. So what will I do? M plus 2, m plus 2, m plus 2, then bracket m plus 9, m plus 9. So therefore, m squared plus 11m plus 18 is equal to what? M plus 2 into bracket m plus 9. If you want to check, it's very easy. Check if your answer is correct or not. M plus 2 multiplied by m plus 9. What do we do? That will be pick m, multiply it by what you have in this bracket, m plus 9, plus 2, abi, plus 2, multiplied by what you have in this bracket, m plus 9. M multiplied by m, you have m squared. M times 9, 9m. 2 times m, you have 2m. Plus times plus is plus. 2 times 9, 18. Now, if you have this, what will it give us? M squared plus 9m plus 9m. They are same. So that will give us 11m plus 18. Was that not what we have in this question? So mathematics is sweet like sugar. You need to drink a cup of tea to this. So I'll be giving you another question which will be having some figure as the coefficient of m squared. Let's see how that will be enjoyed by us. Okay, in the introductory class, I started with a simple quadratic equation. But in this class, we are stepping up a little bit because what we looked at in the beginning was where the coefficient of x squared was just 1. Now we want to see a scenario whereby we have figures that are higher than 1 as the coefficient of the square of the first variable. So we have this equation whereby we have 8p squared minus 10p. Then we now have let's say 3. Let's say minus 3. This is the equation that we are going to solve in this case. But please understand, there is nothing hard there, it's just too simple. Just like what we have when we were using x, any of these variables, we can change it. It can be x, it can be p, it can be k, it can be q. Those are variables. Now, in this scenario, see, 8 here is the a, 10 here is the b, the figure here is the constant, which is the c, a, b, c. Now, don't let some exams, they might want to trick you and just rearrange things in a scattered way. And they can say minus 10p You now say plus 8p squared, and now say minus 3. Hello? Do you know what they just did? They are just trying you to see whether you are very fast. Rearrange it yourself, because plus 8p squared is the same thing as this. It's just that you rearrange it and put this one first, write this one first, and put this as second. You understand the stuff now? Why this minus 3 remains. So once we have this in this manner, the constant figure you have here, you have to multiply it by the coefficient of this first variable raised to power 2. What do I mean by that? In your mind, you will know that 8 times 3 is minus 24. So just have it at the back of your mind. 8 times minus 3, 8 times minus 3 is minus 24. So at the back of your mind, whatever you want to use to get the value here, just have it at the back of your mind that when you multiply it, it must give you minus 24, which is for this. Then when you add it, it must give you minus 10p. So in that case, you now come and say 8p squared minus what are the factors of minus 24? The factors of minus 24, 3 times 8 will give you 24, isn't it? 6 times 4 will give you 24. Then 12 times 2 will give you 24. Well, let's take it up. 3 times 8, if they are both positive, plus 3 plus 8 times 8 plus 3 multiplied by plus 8, that will give you a positive figure. And what you have here is not positive figure, so this is out. Now 6 times 4. 6 times 4 will give you 24. But if you say minus 6 and minus 4, you add them together, they will give you minus 10. But when you multiply minus 6 and minus 4, it will give you positive figure of 24, which is different from this. So this is out. But when you now say 12 times 2 to give you 24, but in a scenario whereby you say you are looking for minus 10, that means if I have minus 12 times 2, that will give you minus 24 because of this 8 times 3 to give me minus 24. That's good. But if I have this minus 12, I now add it to plus 2, it will give me what? Minus 10. Now, this will be a better option. So we have minus 12p and what? Plus 2p. Then what we have there before is minus what? Minus 3. Please take note. You can see that I did not come here to come and write minus 24. All I just did was to use the coefficient of p squared to multiply this minus 3 so that it can make me to get the right factors, that when they are multiplied it will end up as minus 3, and when they are added together it will end up as minus 24, and when they are added together it will give me minus 10, just in your mind. So this minus 3 still remains constant here. So the next thing we're going to do is this: 8p squared minus 12p, put in brackets, then you have plus 2p minus 3, put in brackets. Now, what do we want to do? 8p squared, what is common? What will go here in 8p squared and we go in 12p squared? 2 can go, but 4 can go. You can have 2, 4, if you have a, if you bring out 4, we have p on both sides, we have 4p, okay? How many 4p in 8p squared? That will give us what? 4 in 8, that's 2. Then p in p squared, that's p. 2p minus what? 4 in 12, that's 3. So 2p minus 3. Now, you have plus here. What would you have here as the coefficient of this? What's that? What's the coefficient of this? This is just 1. Because 1 multiplied by this, you will have everything same as this. So plus 1 bracket 2p minus 3. Remember, you have 2p here, and you have 2p minus 3 here, you have 2p minus 3 here. So, since we have 1 as the coefficient of this, and we have this is already guiding you because they have the same expression within the bracket. So, what are we going to do? We say 4p plus 1 in bracket, then 2p minus 3 in bracket. So this is what you are looking for. So therefore, 8p squared minus 10p minus 3 is equal to 4p plus 1 in bracket 2p minus 3. So that's your final answer. So let's do a recap. Whenever you have this kind of a figure where the coefficient of p squared is greater than 1, in your mind's eye, just use that coefficient to multiply a constant value. So it is what you've gotten from that multiplication that you now look for the factors that when they are multiplied will give us this, and when they are added up will give us this. That was how we're able to achieve this, in which we have 8p squared minus 12p plus 2p. 12p, negative value of 12p plus positive value of 2p. If you are owing 12 oranges, you pay back for 2, that will give you minus 10. Then minus 12 times plus 2. What will it give you? That will give you minus 24. 8 times 3 is 24. So if you have any other question, kindly chat me in the comment section. Just let me know the area you're having challenge in the comment section, and I will look at it and possibly help you to solve it out or guide you further. So with that being said, don't forget to like this video, give us thumbs up, share this video to all your classmates, share it to everyone that you know that their children are in secondary school, those that are very, very in need of help in mathematics. This is Dao Central signing out.